Sunday saw two Elite Eight matchups, very good matchups. Two teams, all the teams are defensively good, but offensively, I'm going to dive into it because there are a lot of details. So the first game was first-seeded Villanova Wildcats versus Texas Tech. Texas Tech put in a big fight against Florida in the Sweet 16, and Villanova, who had a huge fight against Press Virginia in the Sweet 16. So both teams were coming off big games, big wins for the programs, but both teams are coming off a bit of a fatigue because both teams had to play very, very hard to get their wins, to get to this point in the Elite Eight. So it started off, Texas Tech started out hot. Zaire Smith hit a tip shot, Zaire Smith had to hit a three, and Odessa got some free throws. 7-0, Texas Tech is going up early. Villanova they're playing well, they're executing, but they're missing shots. So they're just missing good shots early on, and that's just how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you take them, you miss them. But they did come back. Texas Tech went all the way up by 8-9-1, but then Pascal hit a jumper, Spellman hit a three, Pascal hit one or two free throws, quick 6-0 run, sort of weathering Texas Tech early on. They cut it to 2-9-7 at that point. Villanova started settling in defensively, I think is what happened. Offensively, a little bit, they weren't playing well because Texas Tech's defense actually did a really good job of executing their game plan in this game, but their offense didn't follow suit, and at 13-10, Mikal Bridges hit a jumper, DiVincenzo hit a three, and Villanova went up by 2. So Villanova had a quick 5-0 run, bam! They're in the lead now. That's how Villanova does it. Villanova sometimes they start off a little slow, and then bam, you amp it up, bam, up by 2. So good job for Villanova. A bunch of missed threes and layups for Texas Tech through that stretch. Texas Tech missed a lot of good looks. I don't know what happened to Texas Tech. I mean, they were executing offensively against Florida, against SF Austin. They're executing well against those teams, and then when they played this team, it sort of all went down. But sometimes Villanova's defense does that to you. So Pascal hit 4 free throws, then you got a Bridges dunk. So Villanova goes up by about 6. And then that was a quick 6-0 run after it was tied at 15. So only 2 field goals in this stretch for Texas Tech. In 6 minutes, only 2 field goals. They were limiting Texas Tech's offensive sets and making them shoot jumpers. They are comfortable shooting jumpers, but they also like to get the ball to Zaire Smith down low. They like to play a little up-tempo style, and Villanova was amping it down, and they were saying, no, you have to play slow, and you have to play more methodical, and I think Texas Tech got a little, flustered by that. But and towards the end of the half, Jalen Brunson hit a jumper, DiVincenzo got a layup, DiVincenzo got some free throws, and Brunson got some free throws. So 36-23 at the half, 7-0 run for Nova to end the half, obviously. Like I said, Texas Tech started out very, very strong, but they fell prey to Villanova's defensive pressure. Villanova figured out Texas Tech's defense. Texas Tech's defense was amping it on them early, but Villanova figured it out, got a lot of offensive players. Like I said, all 5 players on this team, all 5 players in the starting lineup, can score, and they got guys off the bench who can also score. So they exploited late in the first half, and they found an offensive flow. They found a way. Texas Tech did not actually score for the last 3 minutes of this first half. They cut the game to 6, and you didn't hear from them again. Bam. I mean, that's just what Villanova does at teams. Villanova is so good at fundamentally defensively that it is so hard to get a sort of offensive flow against them because of the way they play, because of the way they all connect on defense. You got Mikal Bridges, a big guy. Jalen Brunson is leading the defense. It's so hard for you to sit there and try to get something going against the Villanova Wildcats, but Texas Tech kept trying. Second half, also, they missed the opportunity early in the half, 33 minutes in the half. They cut the game to 13, but they kept missing a bunch of good looks. Jared Culver kept missing a bunch of good looks, and Nova didn't score for about 2.5 minutes. So this is the point where Texas Tech needs to take advantage of this, because this is where Texas Tech needs to come in and sort of, set the tone for the second half, and they didn't do that. But they did keep chipping. Culver layup, Stevenson 3. They went up by 10. And this is another missed spurt that they had. Game was at 10 for a while. Texas Tech missed another spurt of run and gun opportunity. Missed layups, a bunch of turnovers. So it stayed at 46. Then it went to 46-35. Then Stevenson hit a layup, and Evans hit some free throws. Game only cut all the way down to 9. But Villanova here. So then you sort of go a little bit more in the second half. Villanova missed some opportunities. Good looks to put the game away at 50. They were up 50-39, and they had some chances here. quality looks, good shots, more opportunities, second chance opportunities to put the game away for good. Just put it away for good. Because if with Villanova's defense, they have that ability where they can just hit certain shots and the game's just over because that's how good they are defensively. But they missed all these shots, and Texas Tech kept chipping. Odessa hit a chip shot, and Francis hit a 3. Game got cut to 5. Quick 5-0 run for the Red Raiders. Game got cut all the way down to 5. So Villanova's missing a bunch of shots, and Villanova, again, they go on another spurt where they miss a lot of good shots, and they don't score for 2 minutes. They open the door for Texas Tech to come back, but Texas Tech could just couldn't connect on a couple of open layups that they needed. They needed to chip into that lead. They needed to make open layups, and Texas Tech just wasn't making anything. They just straight up started missing all these good looks, all these good shots. Keenan Evans just never got going either. They just, defensively, Villanova just shut them down, and DiVincenzo got a dunk off a Bridges 3-pointer miss, and then Texas Tech did try to cut it back to 5, but Villanova went back up by 7, and then Texas Tech played well on defense, but what happened was late. They started panicking a little bit, started fouling too much, sort of being a little bit too physical, I feel like, because they're trying to force the issue, because they're trying to get stops, so they started fouling too much, and that kind of derailed it. They did end up cutting the game down to 6, but Jalen Brunson hit a layup, and Pascal hit some free throws. Villanova went up by 10, 63-53. Quick 4-0 run, but that was it. Like, there was like a minute 30, 2 minutes left in the game. So that was it. Villanova just easily sealed the game. And they finished well to win 71-59, and Villanova Wildcats are now in the Final Four. Good job for the Villanova Wildcats. They played well. They moved the ball very, very well. Good job for them. Second Final Four in 3 years. They just moved the ball. They played. They made all the start plays. Like I said, Texas Tech, they gave it their best shot. Offensive execution would have won them this game because defensively they played very, very well. Villanova struggled early on, but defensively, Villanova knew that they could win this game on defense, and they knew this game would be played through defense. So Villanova did what they could do and played very, very well on defense. They held Texas Tech to 33.3% and 5 for 20 from 3. Villanova also shot 33.3%, but Villanova made the best of the opportunities. They also hit 29 free throws in this game. So, like I said, free throws kind of derailed the chances for Texas Tech. They couldn't really do anything, and that's just how it goes sometimes. A grit and grind win for the Villanova Wildcats. In the tournament, it's win in advance, like I said. So Villanova was like, all right, we'll take the win. We'll go for it. We'll learn from it, and then we'll see. We'll watch the film. We'll learn from it, and we'll go from it. Keenan Evans went 3 for 14. Texas Tech had a very commendable run. They had some very, very good games early on, and they played very, very well. But Jay Wright and Villanova just turned out to be too much in this game, and good job. Congratulations to them, because Villanova is a very, very top program, and now they're finally getting recognized, and I actually thought they would be out at this point, but good job to them. Two Final Fours in 3 years. Good job, and we'll see who Villanova had to play in this next game. That was the best game of the Elite Eight. Okay, so now, moving to the other part of the bracket, Kansas versus Duke. This was a really, really good game. Overtime thriller in Omaha. So when they started, both teams were feeling each other out, shooting at will. Both of them were really making a lot of shots. Azubuike hit some free throws. Mikhail, who had a 3, put Kansas up by 2 with a quick 5-0 run. But bam, here comes Duke again. Trent Jr. hits a jumper. Duval hits a layup. Bolden dunks it down. 6-0 run for the Blue Devils. They capture it back. So 13-9, back and forth. Kansas went cold for about 3 minutes because of the zone. But Duke didn't really capitalize. They just failed to capitalize. Kansas used their defense to get back in the game. Graham hit a layup. Malik Newman hit some free throws. Malik Newman hits a layup. Malik Newman was hot in this game, and he put Kansas up by 2 at this point. 6-0 run for the Jayhawks to get the lead back. The zone is still the zone defense. Obviously, Kansas did a good job of breaking it, but there were times where Duke really took a good advantage of it, and Trent Jr. hit a 3, and then Duval got a layup, so Duke got a quick 5-0 run, and then Duval hit a jumper towards the end of the half to put Duke up by 3 points. Trayvon Duval played very well in that first half because Wendell Carter was in foul trouble. Like I said, back and forth game, tug of war. Both teams playing at a high level. Coach K's young kids actually came out Little inexperienced, but they sort of they still hit a bunch of jumpers. So, like I said, I wanted to call it. And both teams were in a good flow. Kansas, their guys started getting a good flow towards the first half. Malik Newman, Devontae Graham, Makai Luke. And Asabuki was creating a lot of problems down low, some foul trouble. For Wendell Carter, and he was just disrupting Marvin Bagley's flow as well. Marvin Bagley didn't really get in the flow until the second half. So second half starts. Malik Newman comes out, starts out hot. Kansas, he hits 2 threes for Kansas, goes on a quick 6-1 spurt and take the lead by 2. LeGerald Vick hit a jumper and a 3. And Newman hit some free throws. So Kansas was starting to 46-39. Kansas 7-0 run. They drew fouls. And they forced Duke into tough jumpers. They came out in the second half. They sort of set the tone, you know what I mean? They went up by 7. They were like, all right, this is our game. We're going to come out. We're going to capture it. We're going to be able to win this game if we play at this pace. But it's Duke. They're always going to, they're always going to come back. And bam, quick defensive amp up, and they got Duval for a 3, bam, and then Marvin Bagley, who wasn't making much of a post presence at that point, nailed a 3, cut the game down to 1. So Duke is only down by 1 at this point. Congrats, Duke, chipping. And then Kansas went back up by 5, 57-52 at this point. Trent Jr. hits a jumper. Trent Jr. nails 1 to 2 free throws. Then Bagley nails a layup. So it's tied at 57-57 now. 5-0 run for the Duke Blue Devils to tie the game, pretty much. And at 57, there's a jump ball that happens. Kansas wins it. Devontae Graham takes it, nails a 3. Makai hits a jumper, and it's 62-57 now. Quick 5-0 run for the Jayhawks. So the game's just going back and forth, and now 62-57. Kansas, now you got Wendell Carter hits a layup, Wendell Carter hits 1 or 2 free throws, then Bagley hits 1 or 2 free throws, Trent Jr. hits a 3, 64-62 Duke. Duke actually could have went on more than a 7-0 run, but they kept missing a bunch of free throws during that run, so that was really a derailer. I don't know, who knows, that run could have put the game out of reach at that point, because it was pretty late in the game. So a great sequence going down. Newman hits a 3, then Wendell Carter comes back with a dunk, then Vic hits a jumper, then Carter comes back, hits a layup. Duke goes up by 1 point. At this point, what happens is both teams go scoreless for 2 minutes. Very sloppy basketball, turning over the ball, missing layups, just basic fundamental basketball. Both teams are I think they were both a little nervous because at the end of the game, and some of the kids are a little inexperienced. I mean, not for Kansas, but for Duke. But I guess when you're playing, I guess anybody, you tend to have that. Asabuki, nice little lob from Makai for the dunk. Grayson Allen draws 2 fouls, gets 4 free throws, hits all of them. 72-69. Duke is up. Wendell Carter, Duke gets the ball, 72-69, with the chance to salt the game away, and they blew it. Wendell Carter had tried a little hook shot, but they waited too long into the shot clock to set it up, and Wendell Carter airballed it, and Devontae Graham came down the floor with the ball, and he saw Makai open. Makai took the ball, confidently shot it, nailed it, bang, 72-72 tie with 27 seconds to go. Duke's last possession, they give it to their senior leader, Grayson Allen. Grayson Allen drives to the basket. He sort of has to step back because there are 2 defenders. He puts up the shot. It rolls off the rim once, and it rolls off the rim twice, and the buzzer sounds. So overtime in Omaha, two chances there to win it at the end, but it didn't work. Duke just missed the opportunity at the end of the second half. Like I said, back and forth. It's hard to determine who would have won that game, but that was the shot that could have ended it and could have put Duke in the Final Four with all these freshmen, but it didn't work. So overtime starts. Both teams are flowing very, very well. Both are playing well. So Wendell Carter here, Malik Newman is driving to the basket. Wendell Carter moves in for the charge. It is called a charge. People argue that it was a block. Here's what I'm saying. Wendell Carter has 5 fouls at this point, okay? There's no need to move in to try and get a charge. That's pointless at this point. If you're moving in for a charge, I get it. You're trying to be the hero and stuff. This guy has 5 fouls. Offensively, he is a huge piece down low. And it's just not necessary. You give up the 2 points, and then you go back and play defense. You don't have to take that charge. But Wendell Carter is all right, you know what? I'm going to take this risk with 2:55 to go in the game. And the ref calls it a block, and he's out of the game. Here's the thing. if you blame the refs for the reason you lost because you lost, right? You have already lost. Like, that's just the thing. You can't blame the refs for making a 50-50 call. Like, you can sit there, you can argue about his feet all day, but here's the thing. It's a 50-50 call, and the ref is the one making it. So, suck it up. It didn't work for him. It was a charge. He should have just gave up 2 points and moved on, but he didn't. And obviously, Duke couldn't run any offense without him, so that was basically it. I mean, they only scored 2 points after he left, and Malik Newman hit 2 free throws. Malik Newman got a nice little kick out to the corner. Bam! That 3 basically put it away. That was the go-ahead 3, and then Newman hit some free throws late. Duval got a clean look at 3 after Newman's 3, but Duval missed it, and Newman hit some free throws, and Kansas won 83-78, a 7-0 run to end the game. Kansas wins the crazy overtime thriller in Omaha, Nebraska, to advance to the Final Four to play the Villanova Wildcats, who beat Texas Tech earlier in the day, just based on how they played, and it was just a great game. So like I said, a back and forth battle all game. Bill Self versus Coach K. Bill Self gets this round. Kansas versus Duke, two big blue blood programs. Duval helped Duke in the first half, but Carter's foul trouble kept hindering him, and it did catch him to him at the end. Kansas was just grinding. You know, they were still hitting shots. You know, Malik Newman went off. Malik Newman was the reason they won this game. Malik Newman went off with 32 points. Wendell Carter, you know, like I said, he hooked a shot badly. Grayson Allen missed that shot. How do you miss that shot? How do you even take that shot? If you're a senior leader, you gotta find a better shot. He was selfish. Grayson Allen was really selfish. He was laughing at the press conference. I saw him laughing at the press. How can you laugh if you miss a shot? You're a senior leader. How do you fuck up? Great. This guy, man, he's laughing at what a dickhead. This guy's laughing at his fucking president. Oh my God, we lost, but hey, good job. What? Man, this guy's a dumbass, man. Fucking Grayson. I hope he doesn't get drafted. Fucking dirty-ass player, man. Terrible. Freaking rims out, like I said, anyway. Duke, like I said, 2 chances. And then Wendell Carter fouled out. Duke only scored 2 points. Duke missed the glee. Yeah, sometimes you miss shots in games, and that's what happened to Duke. And Kansas hit the shot that they needed, and now Bill Self is headed to the Final Four, taking this team to a rematch against Villanova. So we'll see what happens up there. Kansas versus Villanova. Good job. Congrats to Villanova as well. You know, advancing to 2 Final Fours in 3 years is pretty tough in March Madness. And the way they did it defensively against Texas Tech, and then good job to Kansas for making timely shots against Duke to sort of you know, the game was back and forth, like I said. So Kansas just made the shots that mattered at the end with Malik Newman. Good job. So Kansas versus Villanova will be a very, very good game on Saturday night in the Final Four in San Antonio. It will be a rematch, so it'll be a nice, you know, Devontae Graham was there the last time with Frank Mason. It was a guard domination duo, and they just got shut down last time by Villanova. Ryan Arcidiacono, Daniel Oshefu, those kids are freshmen. Brunson and Bridges were freshmen, so I don't think DiVincenzo was in the last game. So from 2 years ago to now, we'll see how Kansas and Villanova both kind of match up. Jay Wright versus Bill Self. It's the rematch in San Antonio, and last time Kansas was in San Antonio, everyone remembers what happened. That Mario Chalmers 3-pointer. So we'll see what happens up there. You know, like old school game. But it'll be. I think Kansas Villanova will be very interesting. I think Villanova will get it. But I don't know. It'll be very interesting to see how Kansas sort of responds to this game and how they respond to, you know, the overall criticism from the last time they played Villanova. And let's see how that. So that's how day 2 of the Elite Eight wrapped up, and the tournament's almost over. You only got 3 games left. You only got 2 Final Four games and the national championship game coming up. So it's been a good March. So we'll see what happens. Loyola Chicago is still alive, so we'll see what happens next week in the Final Four. And it's just a great eventful day. Good day two. Both games are really good. Obviously, if you're not a fan of fundamental basketball, you didn't like Villanova, Texas Tech. But if you love fun basketball, I'm pretty sure you love Kansas Duke, because that was probably one of the best games of the entire tournament. And I'm happy that I predicted that game. So we'll see what happens. March Madness it's coming down to more of like a quieter tone. But we'll see what happens, because Saturday is always, and March Madness is always crazy. So we'll see what happens on Saturday. But good March Madness so far. I'm really enjoying it this year.